Alright, so we're pretty much assembling the heads of the vehicle. And then right now I'm in the process of tightening them down to a perfect spec as per Ferrari.
Okay.
So I gotta tighten the head nuts to the cylinder. And then we use a special torque wrench to set it up to depends on how they want to do it. It has different degrees and different numbers on foot-pounds. So Ferrari uses new meters, so that's pretty much what we're gonna be using.
Okay.
And then there's a special procedure on which one to start with. So
Tell me about that.
So we start from the middle to outside,
Okay.
right? And there's a specific way. Usually we start kind of like on a star pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Go from down up, and then 3 strokes. That way you can kind of like lay over when you start tightening. You don't want it to start from the outside to the middle.
Okay.
Because then there's going to be a lot of pressure when you start tightening. So you start from the middle to the outside.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that would be you start pre-tightening to a small number, and then you can keep going until the perfect number that you want. So we start at 65 new meters in the center, and then we jump into 50 new meters.
Okay.
And then we jump into 35 new meters. And
Okay.
then the last process it would be 100 new meters, or around 100 or 100 degrees. And then that's when after that, then you check that everything is super tight, and then it will be good. So
Okay.
that's pretty much the process of. So in the meantime, this side already is done, and then I'm just gonna be jumping into that side, where I can probably show you guys pretty much how we're gonna do it. So.
Awesome. Well, let's get to it.
Yeah. So if you come over this way, it's gonna set it up. So we're gonna change it into
50,
new
right?
meters. So we start in the middle with 65. So then we just go up to 65, right?
Okay. And then it's 50. And then it's 50.
And then it's 50.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, you start in the middle a little bit higher, and then
Okay.
you go down a little bit of the numbers.
All right.
And then once they're all pre-tining, then you go into the 100 new meters, which is pretty much the Ferrari spec. So once we're in here, they have a different numbers. So you start with the first one down here, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Okay.
And then you're gonna be
Okay,
seeing
do that
7.
one more time.
All right. So if we're going back here, it's gonna be the first one,
Okay.
the bolt that we're gonna start. Then we jump all the way into the top.
Okay.
Then jump over here. This is the third one, and then 4, 5, 6. So you see how we're
So
gonna
it's the
start?
zigzag. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we start from the bottom up to this corner, that corner, this corner, and this corner, right?
Yeah.
And then from this corner, we're gonna jump all the way down to here.
All right.
And instead of going up, we're gonna jump onto this corner, coming down here, and the last bolt it would be this one over here. So
All right.
yeah, we do that in different sequences, and then the last one is gonna be the same thing. Once we have the right amount of pressure, we're gonna go from here, same pattern, and then after that we check, and it should be good. Then we continue from there. So the seals are already new. We replaced the head gaskets.
We replaced those last time.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. So we had the head gaskets over here that you can probably see. Add a little bit of sealer, and then now that's on place, and I screw them by hand first. Now that's pretty much where we're jumping into this. So as you can see, it's a 65. We jump into the first one, right? So
Okay.
sorry, keep a little bit, right? So pretty much these will tell you how much pressure are you really tightening, and how much are you tightening the nut at this moment. So as you can see right now, it's at 18,
Okay.
right? If you continue coming down, it will tell you. It lights up. It will
Okay.
give you a green. Once you have a green, you can come back to have a little bit of leverage. Come down,
Okay. Until
50, then you go back again, and then it will give you a green light once you pass the 65. So it will tell you
Alright.
65.3 will let you know it's
Okay,
good. All right.
okay.
So once we do that, then we jump into the second one.
Now, is this a special Ferrari tool?
So this is not straight from Ferrari. It's pretty much one of our tools as personal mechanic.
Right.
But yeah, so Ferrari has its own torque wrench, but it's mostly for the wheel caps and the wheel center locks.
Right.
Every manufacturer has their own torque wrench.
Okay.
So 65.
Okay.
Then we jump down here. There you go. Perfect. So every different engine has a different number. They'll build different.
All right.
And same
Has a
as
different number for the pressure for the
exactly,
pressure.
yes. So
Okay.
depends on every bolt is gonna be different. Like I said, usually when you when we go from that when we go from like different engines like the 40A, the 45A, and then if you're jumping into V12 engines, they're gonna have a different number.
Like
and
okay,
different
so
procedures.
is it so V12?
Mhm.
What would be the pressure for that? For
So
your-
I mean, they vary it. They're usually a little bit more, just because our engine is a little
Right.
bit bigger,
Right.
and the procedure on the heads are different. So
No zigzagging.
exactly not. Well, yes, you still have to do the zigzagging
Okay.
procedure, and that would be so. Then we just check 65. And I kind of just wanna like to go over them, make sure that everything is a 65. We could jump onto this side, because sometimes what happens is when you tie them
Right.
and you tighten another one, it might turn a little bit. So, all right. So then, now that we're done with the 65s, then
You
we
gotta go to
jump
50, right?
50. Yes. So let's come down to 50. Perfect. So 50 are gonna be for this corner, right?
Right.
And then we do this one 50. There's a little bit less pressure than 65.
Right.
Once you jump 50, then those two are gonna be 35.
Wait, those ones are 50, and then this one's going to be 35. Why?
So pretty much it's just how they want to put pressures on it before we jump into the big one, because these are gonna be the exit ones, the ones on the outer,
Okay.
right? So you kind of just want to put this one's on 50 and this one's on a little bit more. That way it kind of settles onto it. You
Okay,
know, it kind
right.
of has like an even pressure into the head.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
Well, that makes
once we
sense.
do that, then we jump down to 32, 35, right? Then
Okay.
we jump into that one. Perfect. And then this one. All right, then we go back into 50 because we're going back on this one, the last pole on the top that we never touched.
Okay.
So let's go over there.
Oh yeah, because you did this. Yep. And then
Yes.
you end up over there.
Over there.
Right.
That would be like the last one for the pre-timing.
Right.
Yep. Perfect. So after that, then we're probably just gonna have to double check my work. I like to always double check. And then after that, we're just gonna continue for the final tining procedure, which is gonna be 100 degrees, which
Okay.
is kind of like between a range between 80 to 110 New meters.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
then we'll go into that. Just have to set the angle first.
Right. What do you mean by setting the angle?
So with this torque wrenches, right? You
Uh-huh.
have new meters,
Right.
right? And then you gotta set the angle. So the angle it's gonna be level out, and once it's level out, it has a degree, right?
Right.
So right now we have a degree of 65, but we wanna go to a degree of 100.
100. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So 100. Okay. So now that we have that, we go by degree. So pretty much like everything, it will measure how much is the degree that I'm turning the knob, not how much pressure I'm
Not the
putting.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why it may
It's
vary.
the angle. Okay. Okay. That makes
So
sense.
after we tining, it might be the pressure is between 80 to like 110.
Uh-huh.
So once I start doing the angle, I might get 90 or I might get 100.
Right.
Right. So it's
Right.
between that range that Ferrari wants us to tighten this.
Okay.
So same procedure. We start from the number 1.
Now, are you gonna do the same, the 100 for all of them now?
No, so same thing. Just
Okay.
as in the
So-
middle one, the middle 4, right? are
So
gonna
100
get
in the
50.
middle.
Remember how
Oh,
the first
50,
one, the
yeah.
first one they were 65,
Right.
and then we jump into 50 and then 35. It's the
Okay.
same procedure with the degree.
Okay.
So the first one, which is pretty much where you're gonna be putting all the pressure on the center of the head.
All right.
Right. You start with 100, and then the last corner ones they're gonna be 65. Yes.
So you
65
end
degree.
with what you started with.
Exactly, pretty
Okay,
much.
alright.
So, so this one takes a little bit more. And then you can see that right now it's charging the degree. So pretty much the degree of me coming down with the torque wrench, right?
Right.
So then it's gonna take a little bit more than the regular 100 degree, and then it will show you to 81 new meter.
Okay.
So pretty much it's between the range of the 80
80
to 100,
like you were
yeah.
saying.
Yeah, so we go up in the bolt. Same thing. So 101, 188. So you
Okay.
measure a little bit more. So the same thing. Oh, there's this one over here.
Got a zigzag.
Got a zigzag. 100. And then to this corner. You see how now it's getting a little bit more pressure
Right.
on the outer once you start moving from the middle, and then you start working your way out.
You get more
So-
pressure.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Ah,
98.
okay.
Yeah. This one down here. Alright. 102. And we go up to this one, which is number 6.
So for like, let's just say for like the kids that might be watching this.
Yeah.
What in your schooling do you think that you would be focusing on?
Meaning once
Math.
after.
Yeah, like math, like.
Yeah, so pretty much I was always good in math when I
I
was in high
figured,
school.
yeah.
And I always liked the things with chemistry and physics, and how
That-
everything came out to be something, right?
Right.
So that was one of my favorite subjects aside from art. But
Was phys-
yeah,
was
exactly.
physics?
Yeah.
Physics, well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That we're good at
Yeah, exactly.
physics
So,
and art.
mhm.
Hence why you're at Ferrari.
Exactly. Exactly. So right now that we're already done with the number 6, then we're gonna move to the outer ones, which
Okay.
is gonna be 65 degrees. So when we
With
jump
what
down,
we started with.
hmm So let's go. Perfect. So
And what will the pressure be like on? Is it
I
going to be
think
kind of
it's
the
gonna
same?
be around 45 to 70.
Okay.
It's an estimate, or 45 to 70
Okay.
millimeters. So, all right, let's start with this one. All right, 75.
Okay.
You see? And then same thing on this one. We're gonna go over here.
Got a zigzag.
All right, 64. Perfect. Then we're jumping into a corner, and then we're all good to go. Perfect. So, yep, after that, like I said, it's always good to double check. So we go back into the degrees of the 100 in the middle. Just double check. Usually it's always, it detects right away that it's at the perfect, tinings on the point. And then go from there. So after that, we're gonna start putting a little bit of things in the front.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I already replaced the seals for the valve cover, which is on this one, the ones on the center. This
Right.
is where the spark plug goes.
Right.
So, pretty much the spark plug sits in the middle right here. That's where we would set the spark plugs after we had the valve cover on. So, it's really cool to see.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.